again, this game obviously was there's a lot of references to spy movies. There's a lot of references to what was, I guess, when it came out, 2005, I want to say, and about kind of celebrating Godzilla and all these kind of things. Just seeing 3 minutes in. Okay. No, what we wanted to do was actually start from the beginning, but that's not where this is leaving me. But it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Okay. Let's try that again. So I think this was the first game that was under Kojima Productions, which I guess was the studio. That I don't think they've really done anything outside of Metal Gear from what I can recall. So I know they did Boktai, but was that under the Kojima Productions name or not? That I can't remember. Let's go for the fact that we like MGS2. So I did try this the other day, of what happens when you choose that you like MGS3. You end up getting the mask, but you don't get the whole joke about it being Jack and him wearing it. And actually, this is what happened to me. When I first played this game, I chose the fact that I liked MGS2, because I was a big fan of MGS2. And so when I was playing this game and they kept saying Jack, 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 and he was wearing the Jack mask, I thought, okay, something's not right. How come Jack, as in Raiden, is here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And obviously for this first intro bit, Snake doesn't talk, so you're like, okay, I'm kind of not freaking out, but I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And this was kind of what I was referring to before, how MGS2 for me was a little bit spoiled in terms of I think most of the bits were spoiled about Raiden. And so this bit, not knowing about any of this, I think was a kind of a nice... I think it's those type of elements within games that you really... it's hard to be surprised in games anymore, or in any type of entertainment, so definitely something that I was surprised at. And actually, this was probably one of the first games where I practically said to myself, I'm not going to look at the media for this game coming out. Like, I don't want to know anything else about it. I even imported this game. I mean, I'm based in the UK, and I imported this game from the US way back when, just so I didn't have to be spoiled by like the gaming websites and magazines. And so it's because of that, I was like, well, screw that. There's no way that I'm going to be spoiled again. Although now that I think about it, the only thing that I think I can remember that was that wasn't spoiled in like MGS2 was the whole Arsenal gear thing. I don't think I knew anything about that. Now I've noticed that this bit's done on purpose. There's slight borders on the top left and the top right. And I guess that's to hide Raiden's identity, or the character's identity, for some reason. But we know what that reason is.
Depressurization complete. Checking oxygen supply.
So a very detailed kind of intro. And I was saying before how it's kind of, there's a lot of references to spy films and stuff. There's a lot of James Bond references in this game. You can see there it says Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater on the helmet. I don't know why they decided to put that on there. Because that's just takes you out of the game, I guess. I don't know if they had that in the original game. I'm pretty sure they must have added that for this version. Just checking the time. We're 6 minutes in. We're still in the the opening cutscenes, so I don't really want to skip it, as we've had the other opening cutscenes as well. I think it's also probably worth noting that every Metal Gear game, I think, has been built from the ground up. I don't think any of the games have used an existing engine. Like I remember hearing that MGS3. I think MGS2 and MGS3 are the only Metal Gear games to come out on the same platform, which was the PlayStation 2. And I think they built Metal Gear Solid 3 from the ground up, just simply because of the new environments. Obviously, it was moving away from a confined space into a jungle. So I want to say that that's the case. And I can probably believe that just because, I'm going to skip this bit though, I can believe that just because the character designs are slightly different. The way how the characters look. Obviously it's different characters, Big Boss, you know, the Snake is different, but I think there's a big difference between the Snake in Snake Eater to the Snake in MGS2. Anyway, so there's that, and then obviously Metal Gear Solid 4, whole new engine for PlayStation 3, didn't get used again, and then the Fox engine for Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes, etc. And then I guess on the PSP as well, there was Portable Ops and Peace Walker, so maybe those are the only games that actually use the same engine. Possible. I'm narrowing on because I'm just waiting for this to finish, and we've only got 2 minutes left.
At the recovery point. It's about 20 minutes.
Sam really talked about the story or the characters actually at all. There's no time to do that, but obviously this is the first instance and this is probably the earliest point in any of the Metal Gear games you'll play. There is no earlier set game in the series so far. So I always kind of say to people in terms of like playing a Metal Gear series, trying to understand Metal Gear, I always suggest them playing Metal Gear Solid 3. I think Metal Gear Solid 3 is probably the most balanced of all the games. Obviously, it's not as strong, I think. I mean, I think the story is very strong, but I think people always argue that the original Metal Gear Solid game has got a stronger story. But I think in terms of gameplay, graphics, getting access to it, it's a lot more tricky, or it's trickier. I think this game is far more accessible. In terms of its story, it starts from zero. I say that in hyphens. It's an origin story. It's describing, it's kind of detailing what's happening in the games, and it kind of sets up the rest of the games. And you could quite easily then just play this game and Metal Gear Solid 4, and you've got a really good understanding of what's happening in the world. Obviously, best to play Metal Gear Solid 2 if you want to really understand what's going on in Metal Gear Solid 4, basically. But we're already at 10 minutes, so we'll let this cutscene finish, and then we shall move on to Guns of the Patriots. Again, the character is hidden. You don't know who the character is. But then, again, like I said, I didn't know who the character was because they had this mask on.